Welcome to No Further Limits, a podcast that celebrates the lives of those who have withstood challenges and have defied odds to succeed even without their father's hand. Our guest today is a powerful person. Powerful in this sense, he grew up without a biological father, and even to an extent of going to school through well-wishers contributing for his school fees. And therefore, let's sit back and hear this uplifting story of this man. We hope it will inspire you. And we are saying that through resilience, hope, and faith, we can scale higher limits. And without further ado, let me welcome our guest today to introduce himself and tell us what he does. Karibu.
Thank you, Charles, for this time. Yes, my name is David Mepukori Molel. Yeah, I am married to one wife who is a woman, though my community allow me to marry many, as many as I can. Mm-hmm. But because of my faith in Christ, I'm only married to one. Mm-hmm. I stay in Nakuru. That is where the place where I chose to settle my family many years ago. And we've been in this city of Nakuru for quite a long time. And that's where we are.
Thank you. Let's start from the beginning. Share with us your childhood journey. How was it? And the type of the family setup that you grew up in.
Thank you, Charles. My childhood journey is a very interesting one. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. In the sense that when I think about my childhood and where I am now, sometimes it just amazes me, because if I was to go according to how I was raised up as a child, I don't think I would be where I am today. Mm-hmm. I'm a fourthborn of a family of 7 from a lady who is the second wife to my father. Mm-hmm. My father had many wives. Actually, as far as my knowledge is concerned, he had about 8 wives.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And my mother was number 2. So I am the 4th child. My mother had 7 kids. And we grew in that Maasai way of life. It was a nomadic way of life, where people are moving from place to place. And when I got my first understanding, mm-hmm, to know who I am, to begin to understand things.
Yes.
Actually, I was at my maternal grandfather's home.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I was staying with my grandfather, my grandmother. That is where I knew so much, because that is where it's like my mom, after giving birth to me, she went and should I say dumped? Mm-hmm. Or she just left me with my grandmother and my grandfather. So I didn't get a bonding, mm-hmm, with even my mother nor my father. Mm. Because she was all the way away from me. And when I grew up a little bit is when I began to understand what was going on.
And at what point did you separate from your father? Because when you say that your mom took you to your maternal parents, grandmother, at what point, or if you can recall, what age were you when you were taken to your grandmother?
I think I was taken to my grandfather when I was pretty small boy. I started knowing my father when I think I was at the age of 3 or 4 years, thereabout. And even how I knew him was so brief again, because I remember I was brought from my grandparents' place to my father's place. We stayed with him for a bit, and then my mother and my father were in constant conflicts. And maybe according to our community or according to the masses, most of the time, if there is a conflict between a husband and a wife, she would always run to their home. So every time my mother is running to her parents' place, she tags me along.
Okay.
So at some point, I think she got tired of that. So she decided just to leave me with my grandfather and my grandmother. But when now I started growing and becoming of age, I think age 5, age 6. So most of the time, I was at my father's place. What I can remember is that my father did not hate me as such, because when I am with him, it's like we are relating well. But again, he was not showing the father's love. It wasn't there. I couldn't feel it. Now, there was this time which now broke the camel's back, the stroke that broke the camel's back. Those days, if a Maasai man is told to take children to school, he picks the children he thinks they are not very good in taking care of animals and allow them to go to school. And then he picks the one I think he thinks that they are responsible and says that this one should go to take care of animals, become herds boys.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I fall in that category.
Oh, the one who your dad felt that you are responsible.
Yes.
And he had to give you the responsibility of taking care of the
animals.
Of animals.
That did not go well with my mother.
Okay.
Because the other women, their children were taken to school. So she felt that even me, I should have been taken to school. And that one now really brought a lot of conflicts between herself and the husband. There is this day I remember like yesterday. I've never forgotten. My mom took me to school. I was accepted in the school, and then I was registered in class 1. And then there was this parents' day. So parents came. We were paraded. So the parents were coming alongside the line. And when your parent approaches, you're supposed to say, this is my father or my mother.
Yes.
So my dad approached. And of course, they were going alongside together with the other administrators, the school head, and all that. I can remember so well. It's like I can even see the sun where it was that day, even now. And then when I was asked, who is your parent? I said, it's him.
Your father?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, no, he's not my son.
He denied you in front of
everyone.
Everybody. How did you feel when the person that you know, he's your father, and when you are told to point at him and he said that you are not his son?
Well, I can't remember the emotions then.
Yes.
Because I was young. I was pretty young. I can't remember the emotions. But later on in life, when I started gaining understanding and growing up, it made me feel very bad. That I can be rejected by a person whom I call my father. a person whom my mother says that he is my father. In fact, at some point, I started doubting whether he's my father. Honestly, and even when I was a very grown-up man, I still felt like he's not my dad. I felt like maybe I was just gotten there and then, brought to his life. Because it made me feel, how can you reject your own blood?
Yes.
So it is later on when it really hit me, and it really made me feel very bad. When I was doing class 7 exams, as we didn't have class 8, we
Yes.
had class 7. You can't believe I registered exams with the name of my mother. I was called David Mepukori Grace. I didn't want to see the name in that name.
That was a bold move, considering the tribe the community that you come from.
Yes. Yeah, it was. And when I went to high school is when I reverted to Molel.
Okay.
Why did I revert to Molel? Not because I liked the name, peer pressure.
Okay.
From our community to be called a son of a woman is very degrading.
Yes, it is.
So I adopted back the name Molel, simply because of pressure. And even after finishing high school and going to college, at some point in college, I thought I made a mistake. I should have continued with the name of my mother. My mother is called Ngilasi. So today I could be called Ole Ngilasi, not Ole Molel. So I grew a lot of hatred and bitterness. And I didn't want to be associated with my father.
Okay. And when you went to school, did you continue staying with him, or you separated at that time?
Things went haywire. He chased my mother away from home. So mom became a person who was just moving from place to place. I thank God for my mother, because she has always strived to put me to school. But let me tell you something. I was in class 1 in 5 schools.
Class 1?
Yes.
Meaning that you are going to, maybe you go to school for a month here, a week there.
Yes. I was moving around because mom was trying to move around to try to see whether we can survive.
Okay.
So I was in class 1 for 5 schools. Class 1. I settled in class 2. That is 1976 is when I settled in class 2, a little bit in a school called Ilbisil Primary School. And then now I transferred to my 6th school, which is DEB Loitoktok, District Education Board Loitoktok. There now I stabilized. I learned up to class 4, 1979.
Yes.
And then after class 4, my mom again moved to a place called Kimana. So I now went to join my 7th primary school, Kimana Primary School. That is where I finished my class 7 and did exams.
And as you continue moving from one place to another with your mom, where were these other siblings from your mother's side?
The first 3, they stayed with my father by force. The 4 of us, from myself and my other 3 siblings behind me, were moving along with my mom. Yeah. So we're just together.
Okay.
Even in those schools. Okay, some of those schools, now when they became of school-going age, they also joined me in moving from one place to another place.
And that's when you finished your 7th grade.
That is when I finished my class 7.
Then from there, what happened next?
Hey, I want to go back a little bit.
Yes.
When I was in Ilbisil Primary School, that was 1976. Because of that movement of all the places, my mother was advised that I need to board. So I boarded in in Ilbisil Primary School at a very young age, class 2.
Oh, you should have been like 7, 8 years?
I can't remember very well, but I think about that age.
Okay.
So when I settled in Ilbisil and I was in boarding school, the patron of Ilbisil Primary School was AIC Church. And every Wednesday, we would go for a service in the church, the entire school to the church. They come for the PPI program to school.
PPI is the primary?
Yes, coming and taking children through Bible study and things like that. It's called pastoral instruction, something. I started developing an interest in Christianity because I come from a family that do not know God. They're just fighting throughout. So I found warm people
in church,
loving people, caring people whom I cannot even compare with my own mother, even, who is struggling to take me to school because my mother was suffering from a lot of bitterness. So most of the time she has anger issues. She's angry all the time, sad all the time. So as much as she's struggling to put me in school, she's also struggling with her own mental challenges. So there was also no joy even at home because my mom was very bitter most of the time. She's emotional. You don't enjoy being at home.
Yes.
So in that school, I encountered a different environment, different kind of people, and my heart was pulled. I said, if Christianity can make people to be like these people, then I'm going for it. That is when I got born again. At that young age, I became a Christian, and I continued serving in the church. And so, to answer your question, I've been serving throughout ever since then. I was in choir, was in everything. When I was in class 5, I think class 5, class 6, I became a Sunday school teacher. I was trained as a Sunday school teacher. So I was serving in the church. AIC came from Africa Inland Mission. So we had missionaries from outside the country. At class 6, class 7, I was actually serving together with them because they are whites. They need to translate the English language to Maasai. So I was always, when time I'm not in school, I could go with them, I translate for them. So when I did my exam, I would like also to tell you that by the grace of God, I think I loved books. Everywhere where I went, I always excelled. Most of the time, I was always number 1 in class, together with all those challenges. I actually scored the highest in class 7. I had straight A's. I led the district, The performance was good. I remember before I did the exam, my headmaster, Mr. Richard Musiemi, whom I still remember up to date. I remember he called me to the office and told me, what plans do your parents have as far as your education is concerned? I remember telling him, I don't know. Remember I told you that I was to be a herds boy.
Yes.
So that was the plan for my life.
Yes.
There was no plan for education. So it's like I carried that statement throughout my life. So I told the headmaster, I don't know. So for me, actually, myself, I knew it was over. Because I know the strength of my parent. Yeah, I know the strength of my parent. My mom could not afford high school fees.
Yes.
So for me, after class 7, it's like I have finished my job. Now I'll just go for something that will come my way. But because of serving in the church, God came through for me in ways that I did not understand. And there was no hope of anything because mom was even struggling to raise 5 shillings, which was called activity fee during our time. Even to raise 5 shillings, It was a whole struggle. If it is a struggle to raise 5 shillings, how about high school fees?
It's worse.
But God did something that amazes me up to today.
And before we go to what God did for your life moving forward, I'd like to take you back. After leaving your father and you're interacting and playing with young boys, was there any time that you felt like you are like a bit lesser than them because their fathers come and visits them, and for you, you never had this person coming to see you in school?
Thank you for asking that question. That question is very important. I was bitter all through my life. Very bitter. And I was asking myself, why do you give birth to children that you don't take care of them? That is the question that was going in my mind. Why do you give birth? I was wondering, why did they have to give birth to me? If at all they never wanted me, and if at all he is my real father, then why did he have to give birth to me? Why did he have to give birth to me? So I was bitter most of the time, angry, sad, and actually introverted. I liked my own company. Most of the time I'm by myself. I don't interact a lot. And I think that is even what made me to excel in education, because I used to avoid groups. I used to avoid boys so that they don't mention some things that will make me feel hurt.
Okay.
Because already I'm bleeding from inside. I'm hurting from inside. So I was by myself most of the time. Even when I go to, because even when I was at my grandparents' place and even my father's place, I used to go to herd animals. Even when I'm in the jungle herding animals, I was by myself most of the time. I jam just with animals and by myself. I didn't like company.
Wow. And did you get any opportunity to express these emotions to an older person or a mentor that you met, or you did not have anyone to share this pain that you are going through with?
I don't know whether I would say I didn't have or I would just say I didn't want.
Okay.
They are there. See, I told you in the church, they are very wonderful men and women of God. But I didn't like sharing my stories. Because the more I share about them, the more I feel more painful. And the more I share, I feel like I'm exposing myself to even more ridicule, to be ridiculed the more. So afadhali, I would just rather keep my story to myself. It is me who know my story, that is it.
Okay.
So I think I didn't want to share my stories with anybody. I was so introverted. I was so, in the liking of my own company. So I didn't want to share my stories with anybody, not even with my peers.
Wow.
Yes.
And moving forward, when the headmaster asked you whether your parents have any plan for you, and you told him that
I don't know.
You do not know.
Yes.
What happened after that?
That is now when I told you, that is when now God started becoming God. I remember very well, I was in a camp. The AIC church, they have camps every Christmas time. And the results come out around Christmas. So I was there with the evangelists in the headquarters of AIC in Loitoktok, working with the missionaries, helping missionaries to interpret English into Maasai, because most of the evangelists were Maasai evangelists who do not understand English. They have not gone to school.
Yes.
And then the results come out. And then I did not even share because I was not excited.
Yeah.
I knew it was over. I'm not going anywhere. But I think I shared with some friends of mine, evangelists. And actually, it's them who asked me, yeah, I hear the results are out. Did you get yours? So I told them, yeah, in a very, not very motivated way. I told them, yes, and this is what I got. And the word went round that so-and-so is the one who has really excelled. He beat everyone in the district and things like that. And even when they were saying that, there was no excitement.
Happiness.
There was no excitement. Right?
Yes.
There was no excitement. When the missionaries heard that, I remember it was called Peter somebody. He told me, is what I'm hearing, is it true? I told them, oh yes, it is very, very true. Akaniambia, and then he asked me, so what plans do you have? I told him, I have no plan.
Wow.
I have no plan. Is your mom able to take you to high school? I told him, she can't. Even feeding us is a struggle. So how about high school? Then he told me, relax.
Wow.
Let me have the papers. And then they told me, we will finish this camp, I will take you to school.
And when those words came to you, that you've been told to relax, and for a long time, you never had anyone even to encourage you to do anything, how did you feel? How did you feel?
I felt good. I felt there is hope. And that is when now the word of God started becoming real to me. That is the time I started seeing, oh, so God does things. I started taking God seriously because I'm seeing now I'm being rewarded. I was just serving the other time, not really expecting much. But now it is like it opened my eyes to see like even the service that I was giving to God is now coming back to me in a very great measure. And I did not finish the story. After Peter told me that, my mom comes looking for me. And then from the camp. And she tells me the headmaster is looking for you. Those days there were no mobile phones. So you just have to go physically. So I went to the missionary. I told him the headmaster of the school where I was is looking for me and he's urgent. So I went to the primary and I met with Mr. Richard Musiemi, whom I doubt whether he's alive by now. And he told me, what did he tell me? He told me that I'm being looked for by an organization called Christian Children Funds, which is also based in Loitoktok.
That is in Kajiado County.
Kajiado County,
yes.
Now the Loitoktok sub-county.
Yes.
There was a gentleman who was called Parmito, Leonard Parmito. So he told me, get this letter, go to that office, without much explanation. So I got the letter, I got my admission letter from to the school. I was taken to Kajiado High School, by the way, instead of Alliance. God works also his things in ways that, and that one really made me bitter. I have passed so well, but I didn't go to Alliance. And some people who even had B's, and then I struggled to see whether I can get Alliance and Mangu after that, but it was not possible. So I went to that office. I arrived there. Oh, you are so and so. Yes, sit there. They come with cameras. They take my photos. They open a file. They pin what, nini. And then I'm given a school fees check. I was told from today until when you finish school, even if it is university, you'll be drawing your fees from this office.
Wow.
So I took the check. They only told me now, your care, your upkeep, you will find a way of going about it. But school fees, we'll take care of that. So I went back to Peter, the missionary. I told him, this is what I was being called for. School fees has been paid in full. And I've been told they will pay throughout my entire schooling life.
Yes.
The only thing that they will not pay is out of pocket, upkeep. Told me, fine, That is very good because as missionary, we can move out any time. About upkeep, we'll take care of you. I'll drive you. They had a Land Cruiser, those old Land Cruiser. I'll drive you to school. I'll buy everything for you. And that is exactly what he did. I remember this day when I was in that office in high school. I went myself. I had the admission letter. I had the check and everything. Of course, the missionary took me through the town, Bata. You know, that is the first time I put a new shoe from Bata. New shoe. And good clothing. My mom bought me a box. But everything else, it was bought by the missionary. So I went to school. I was at the reception. So I queued. When it was my turn, I was asked, where is your parent? I told him, I have none. I just have myself here. So who will sign this place of your parent? I look around here, there was a mzee called Mwangi. And Mwangi, we were schooling together with the son. He was also called in that school. Look around, I said, this mzee will
sign on behalf of a parent.
This mzee will sign on behalf of my parents because my mom did not come. She couldn't afford to follow me. And Mwangi said, yes, I know him. I'll sign. I know even the mother. I'll sign on his behalf. So I took myself to school. I signed. And I continued with school. I never struggled in school. I had school fees. My everything else is taken good care of. And that is how my life started up to today. Wow. I have never struggled anywhere. Yes.
Wow. This story is full of emotions. It's a story that some of you can relate. And as we continue with our guest here, ask yourself whether you have given yourself an excuse that because of your past, you cannot go ahead of life. Because of your past, your future is dark. Let's continue with his life story. You joined high school, you finished high school. Did you manage to go for further education?
That is a very important question. I did O-level very well and finished very well. I was called back to the same school for A-levels. When I was in A-levels, now my childhood traumas started. Because I think now I was at a stage where I can understand myself. I'm becoming an adult. So my mind is now working. Is when issues really started being real. Being very real. I started getting disturbed. Because we don't have a home.
Oh.
In high school, there are sometimes I could not go home when the school closes because I don't know where to find my mom. So I could just wait for students to come back from school. There was a school cateress was called Mrs. Katamboi. She's late now. Katamboi himself is also late. She was a wonderful woman. She understood me very well. Most of the time when the school closes, I just go to her house because she was residing in the school. Even when I was in all levels, very few times I could go home because I don't know where to find my mom. I'll go start looking for her. I don't know which direction she's taken. And MacU, she is not really providing for me for anything because the upkeep, the missionaries are handling. By the way, the missionaries, it came and their time expired and they went. And they handed me to World Vision.
Oh.
So they handed me to World Vision. World Vision continued to do what the missionaries were doing. So I didn't suffer. God came through for me. So I started becoming mature and understanding things. So that fact of knowing you have no home, you have no father who cares for you, the entire high school, when during a visitation, when parents come for visitation, they would come driving cars. They come with food for their sons and their daughters because the school was mixed. And me, that day is when I was a basketballer. I'll put my basketball uniform, I go and play.
Alone?
No, we had also some few other guys.
Okay.
So we could go and play and make our day, while other guys are enjoying in the field with their parents eating. So in the evening is when we would go and ask them, hey, bwana, zile chapati mletwa mtuokolee kidogo. So we go and eat those leftovers from our friends.
And you request them to share what their parents have brought?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's one thing that really helped me. I accepted the way things were. But it was still bothering me. I would have admired that I should also be like the others. See my father coming to see me, my mother coming to see me. Throughout the 6 years, my mom came only once. I think when I was either Form 5 or Form 6. And when she came, she did not come with good news. She actually came to make even me mad the more. Because of that situation, I didn't do well in the A level. I didn't do well.
And all this time, when you are going through these emotions and this pain, did you get an opportunity to get a counselor, or you just bottled it up upon yourself and you continue fighting like a man, as they say?
I didn't even know whether there were counselors then. I didn't know. I didn't know at all. But I said that I did not do well. But the community did not leave me.
Wow.
After I finished A level, I didn't get points to join the university. I was disappointed, very disappointed, because I really desired that I excel in education. I remember my deputy principal, Mr. John Owiti, called me because I was the school captain, called me and told me, you didn't do well. What happened? Because for him, he can't understand why I never made it. But he didn't know
what you have.
The internal conflicts that I had in me that made me not to perform. And let me tell you, it is not that I was not reading. Actually, I was overreading. Let me put it that way. I could read sometimes up to 2, wake up at 3, read up to morning. So I was really overreading. But when it came to the exam, I just don't know what happened. I was not objective in the way I was answering questions. So I think that is what happened. But the community, let me repeat and say, the community did not disappoint. I remember when I was so depressed, I was at my sister's place, at a place called Isinet. My follower sister who was not able to continue with the school, she got married. So I went to their place after A levels. I stayed there, feeling bad, very bad, feeling depressed. Then there's this Mzee, who is also a church member of our church, who works with Kimana Secondary School. He came and told me, you don't need to be staying at home. I've talked to the headmaster, who was called Mr. Ndirango. I still remember him up to now. That you go and do what you call UT, untrained teacher. And I didn't want. Because I was feeling like I was so disappointed. I think I was so depressed. But something changed me. I heard that my A-level classmate was called Daniel Wanganga, who did very well. Actually, he was the only one who was called to campus in that year of ours. He's in that school.
Oh, teaching.
And Daniel was the Christian Union chairman when we were in high school.
Yes.
Me, I was the school choir chairperson, and I was also the school captain. And we were friends.
Yes.
When I heard that he's there, I got motivated.
Oh, to go now and join.
Yes, I told them, no, go and tell the headmaster, I think I'm ready to come. So I went to the school, I started teaching, and my life changed.
Yes.
I came out of the desperation, out of the pain and the hurt. I came out and we were teaching, and it was so interesting. We started doing again ministry there, Christian Union and all that. Now, he was called to campus. When he went to campus, I also left the school.
You could not see yourself teaching without this friend of yours.
Yeah, I feel hopeless. Guys are going to campus. And when I was going to A level, I had more marks than him. So I wonder what happened. To cut a long story short, there's a lady who was called Mrs. Who. Okay, I'll remember the name as we move on. She was an assistant education officer. She got a wind of me. And she called me to her office in a talk. Then she asked me, would you mind if I take you to a college, a teaching college in Kisii? It was called, I don't know which college was that. I think they are all universities nowadays. I told her, I don't want teaching. Why? Because when I was in Kimana Secondary School, I was really given a lot of work. I was doing like 48 lessons per week. It was hectic. So I imagined that, is this the work I will do my entire life until I retire? I didn't have a passion for teaching. So I just left. Then she told me, okay, if you don't want teaching, I'll get you something. And this is somebody I'm not related to. At all. I don't know. In fact, she heard about me. Then she looked for a job for me. She got me a job with ASAL, Arid and Semi-Arid Land Program, which was headquartered at Kajiado Town. In O level, I did what is called Principles of Accounts. So I was taken as an accounts clerk. And I think that is now my life started again rolling. Because when I was an accounts clerk, I worked there. And one day, just another one day of miracles, I was in Nairobi, near where we have now the Times Towers, the KRA headquarters. I met my former primary teacher. It was called Zablon Mogambi. I was so excited. How are you? How have you been? Where have you been? What are you doing? So many questions.
Yes.
I gave him stories. I went to A level. I didn't make it. Mwalimu, I'm this, and that, and that. This is where I am now. Then he just asked me, would you want to do engineering?
Wow.
I told him, yeah, I would. He told me, bring your papers. So I took the papers to him. And within a very short time, like a span of 2 months, 3 months, I was taken by Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation to their training school. And I was now trained as a telecommunication engineer.
Wow.
And from there, life changed completely.
Wow. Let's move.
Yes.
Let's move forward to now, having been raised by a mom who is not settled in one place. You go to college, you come out of college, and you start dating. How did you approach that? That's getting yourself into a relationship and eventually getting married.
Wow, that's a very good question. Let me start by saying I never dated any girl. Completely, at all.
Wow.
What are the reasons? Reasons are insecurity. Do I have a place I call home?
Wow.
Do I have parents like what the other people have? If I date a girl, where will I take her? Who will go for my what?
Dowry negotiation.
Dowry negotiation and things like that. Who will go there? So that kind of mind made me not even to engage with girls at all. And then there's one thing, I think also faith in God really helped me a lot. There came a time when I developed a plan. I told myself, the girl who will be my girlfriend will be my wife.
Wow.
I don't want to have a relationship with just girls like that. The girl who will succeed one day to be my girlfriend will become my wife. And then I drew a plan. I said, high school, after high school, I get a college. After college, I get a job. Actually written. That book got lost just in the house. And there were specifications of even the woman I would want to marry. Why specifications? It's because of my childhood experiences. I wanted a woman whom I'll be able to love and love truly. And a woman who would be able to love me because I have never known love, not even from my mother. My mother has really done all that she has done, but she has never been able to show me love. I told you that she was bitter, angry, all the time. She was always talking about how the husband was making her life difficult. She had no story to tell me. So I wanted to have a woman I can love truly in a very genuine way, and she does the same. A woman I can share my life with, and I'm okay. So I was very careful. But something interesting happened. When I was in college, there was this girl who was in our class. Me, even in college, I was just alone by myself.
Wow.
Most of the time. And I'm sorry to say, I was good in books. So even in college, I was excelling. In fact, I was teaching those guys. Sometimes I could go to the blackboard, teach them mathematics, electrical, everything. And just keeping a low profile. College during our time was very interesting. We were being given money. We were paid. We had money. On Friday, guys disappear. Go to the city and drink, and they come on Monday looking very bad. But me, I'm just in college. Sometimes I go to Nairobi just to walk around, eat some nice things, and come back to college. But one day, something strange happened. Should I say strange or spectacular? Or something that just changed my life? Is that this girl, she was a very quiet girl. Very quiet. She's always by herself also. Guys try to date her. She would put them off. So she was also strange. A guy who was called Mr. Wafula, sorry to mention names, but he's late. One day he did something. This girl, in that college we used to be given everything, including iron boxes. The class where we were had a timber floor. So we were to have exams on Monday. So she decided this time, because she used to go home every weekend, to stay around, and then she washed her clothes. And then when they are dry, she decided to come with the clothes to the classroom so that she can iron them and then join discussion groups because we are having exams on Monday. So as she was ironing, I don't know what happened. The iron box fell on the floor and it produced some noise. This man got angry. He shot up, started throwing insults to the girl and really threatening her very badly. And then I was provoked. I told him, Mr. Wafula, why would you do that to that girl? By the way, I have never noticed that girl. Because she comes from another community, and the community in which we were told when we were growing, you should not marry from that community. So I really had no interest.
Yeah.
So, hey, Mr. Wafula now wanted to show me that he's a man. He turned to me.
Hi.
I told him, you have no right to mistreat a woman.
Yes.
And without my consciousness, remember I'm born again?
Yes.
I don't know what happened to me. I looked around and there was a timber, a 2x2 timber around. I don't know how it came to class. I didn't know how I picked it. And I struck the guy very hard.
Wow. Defending this girl.
Defending this guy.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know.
You were just defending.
It was just out of impulse. Let me say I was raw. I was uncivilized. I think I was from the bush, the jungle. I was very uncivilized, and I came with those behaviors of the jungle.
Yes.
So I was picked by my classmates. I was thrown out. So we didn't continue with the fight. The college did not even hear about it because if the college could have heard about it, I could have been expelled.
Yes.
So they wakayaka chini. They played it down.
Cool.
To cut a very long story short, this girl had observed how I stay in college.
Yes.
I'm either in Christian Union on Wednesdays. When there is no Christian Union,
yes,
I go for either games. I used to play volleyball and indoor games, or I just go for a walk.
Yes.
One day, as I was walking, okay, before even that, I started seeing this girl come into Christian Union because I used also to play instruments in the Christian Union. I could see she comes because she was a Catholic by faith. So she could come to the Christian Union, just sit there, and I told her, wow, that's good. You're coming for fellowship. That's great. Then one day, as I was walking alone, and I think during those walks, I used to just reflect upon my life. Reflect, think about myself, feeling so much lonely, alone in the world, only with God. I had some soft steps from behind. Looking back and said, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, do you mind if I join you for a walk? I said, certainly. No. Let's go. Come, you're welcome. And we walked. Up to today, we are walking.
Wow. Let's move it forward. You got married. And first of all, before you got married, you told her the type of a family that you've come from.
Oh, yeah.
How did she take it?
I told her, I was so open and very honest with her. Because I told you, I needed a woman who will love me. I needed a woman whom I can love her truly. So I had to tell her who I am. So that if at all she decides to come into my life, she knows the kind of person she's enjoying herself to. And it was not very easy also for her to agree that she wants to be married. She just enjoyed the company. Because I remember I saw this girl is good. And I felt like this is a girl I can spend my life with. I tried to reach out to her that I want her to get married to me for 8 months. Actually, we finished college before she ever said yes. So when we were just about to finish college, I told her, that's fine. It has been good being friends. I know you are going your way. We were already posted. Yes. Me, I was posted to Nakuru. She was posted to a place called Banana. Go your way. Wish you well. We'll be talking because we work for the same company. So we left each other. But really, I felt this person should have been my girlfriend. My wife. So we went and we were going to December. We actually left in September. We finished college in September. So one day when I was at home, a guy comes. I was a very strange man. I didn't have friends. Nobody writes to me. And then a guy comes and tells me, you know what? I saw a letter. We used to have one box, which was called Box 1. PO Box 1, Kimana. And it used to be at the center.
Yes.
All the letters come to box 1 Kimana. And then somebody was just perusing through the letters and he saw my letter. And he told me, I saw your letter. And it was like fun. Eh? It was like funny. It was really, in other words, who can write it? Who can write it to you? Who knows you?
Yes.
You have no brothers, you have no sisters to write to you. And he was not saying that,
Yes.
but that is what I was reading from his conversation. By the way, I did not believe him. I thought he was just joking around with me. So I decided to walk to the car center to check. Hey, there's a letter here. Looking at the letter, it's like I know this handwriting. Opening it. She wants to see me in Nairobi. So that day time, it was very difficult. There were no mobile phones. So you have to write a letter
And post
to go,
it.
and you have to allow it enough time to go.
Yes.
So I wrote the details where we can meet, when, and everything. And I released the letter. So by faith,
That the letter got to its destination.
by faith, I got into a bus. I came to Nairobi. So I went to where I told her we'll meet. And in 15 minutes, I saw her coming.
Oh.
My heart was so glad. I don't know what I was feeling. I was
Yes.
feeling, can't explain the feeling.
Yes.
It's like something good is about to happen. So when she came, we met. Oh, good. We exchanged pleasantries, and then we decided to go for a meal somewhere. So when we were taking the meal, is when she broke the news. I thought about your proposal, and I think I'm saying yes.
Wow. And after she said those words, how many years are you now together?
36. This
36
is our
years.
36th year.
Those are many years.
Yeah.
And between you both, you have 3 adults.
We have 3 adults.
When they came, were you ready for the responsibility that you are getting yourself into?
Very much so. I said that I wanted a woman I would love and a woman that would love me.
Yes.
I wanted to add and say, I wanted to get children whom I can show the love that was never shown to me.
Wow.
So when my children came, I had a lot of excitement. By the way, I got only 3 children, not because my wife was not able to give birth to many, but I didn't want my children to go through what I went through. I looked at our income. I said our children should go to good schools, good universities.
Yes.
We looked at our income. We said 3 are enough for us. Actually 2, because the third one came very much late. She's 6 years younger than the rest. So we said 2 will take care of them. God also blessed us because we got a son and a daughter. We were very happy and excited. So we took care of our children very nicely. And do you know what? Everything followed the plan. Our children went to good schools, very good schools. They have excelled. One of my daughter has gone to international schools. After Alliance Girls, she was in South Africa, Africa Leadership Academy. From there, she went to Duke University, North Carolina, USA. She worked for 5 years. She resigned and went to Princeton University.
Wow.
To do her master's. She works with international bodies.
Congratulations.
And therefore, for me, we have achieved, me personally,
Yes.
I have achieved my goal. Because the goal was, I get the children that I will be able to educate and give them a nice education, the children that I would love, pour all my love to them, and I was able to do that. I got the woman that I wanted.
Yes.
I'm able to love her so much, and she loves back so much.
Oh.
And I want to say God has been orchestrating everything in my life.
Yes.
Because even the kind of parents-in-laws I got,
Yes.
oh my goodness, they are great people. My father-in-law is late, but when he was alive, I was his son.
Yes.
When he was alive, I was his son. Even my mother-in-law, I am her son.
Wow.
She treats me like her own.
Wow.
I normally tell people my mother-in-law, you can't compare with my own mother. They are 2 worlds apart. Very loving, very caring. I mean, she has a lot of love. So for me, something happened and it filled the vacuum that I had. Maybe before you ask another question, I went back to college. and did psychology.
Yes.
After doing psychology, when I'm already a grown-up, it is when I started understanding what was going on during my childhood.
Yes.
And that one is now what helped me to change the way I think about my parents. I was in a position to forgive my father, though he's dead, but I released him. As I sit here today, I have no bitterness for my father. I understood what was leading him to do what he did to me.
Wow.
It was not intentional. He didn't want to do those things intentionally to me. But that is what he knew.
Yes.
And for me, I came to realize that I was a good guy. That is why he wanted me to go to become a herder. I'm a responsible person. But I came to understand later. So the rest could have really wrecked my life. Could have destroyed my life. But now I'm able to understand why they were acting the way they were acting. And right now, I don't hate any of them. I don't have any bitterness for any of them. I understand them.
Wow, good to hear that you were able to release your father and you made peace with him.
Yes.
As you are parenting these children, are there values that you inculcated into them so that as they face the world, they're able to say, yes, our dad showed us and taught us like this, and we will push on and be successful?
Very much so. I always shared these stories of my life with them. In fact, like my daughter, the second born, would always say, Dad, how did you manage? Because me, I was raised in the jungle. Before I went to school, I was in the jungle. A very small and a very young boy. Sometimes I sit down, even when I pray, I really thank God that I'm still alive. Because I encountered the jungle when I was a very small boy. I met with every kind of animal in the jungle. Dangerous snakes, deadly snakes, animals of all kinds, And God saved me from all that. I remember one day, the sun was so hot. I was a very small boy. I think I was around 4 years. And I was herding sheep. So we were under a tree. Me, I decided to climb the tree. The boys like playing. So I was playing with a branch. So playing with a branch, I hear ba 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 ba. I was wondering, where is that sound coming from? I would stop. I do it again. Ba 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 ba. Looking up here, a leopard is on top of my head, and the sheep are down here. You can't believe. I went down the tree. I took my sheep, and we went. And the leopard did nothing to us. So that's why I say it's like God has been orchestrating every event in my life. Because I would have even died in that jungle. You suffer hunger, thirst. You're not properly clothed. You're just having a piece of cloth. It rains on you. The sun hits you. Cows, sometimes they just go all over the place. In fact, sometimes you could come home, your eyes are like a ball. You have cried the whole day because of the suffering that you have gone through. So being in that jungle was not very easy for me. And I think when I came to town, I was still carrying that rawness. So when people don't behave the way they behave, because I didn't know how to express myself. My greatest problem is to express myself. So I used to act.
Okay.
If I try to talk to you and you look like you don't understand, then the next thing is I will hit you so that you go away from me. Because I didn't have the skills, the soft skills to be able to express what I feel and what I want.
Wow.
So the children, they learned, they knew me so well. In fact, my daughter told me, why don't you write a book? Because like you have a lot of so many stories. But they can't believe how I came and became the kind of person that I am.
Wow.
I used to walk around with them, even when I didn't have a vehicle. I would put them in a matatu. We just go touring and having fun. So they were able to learn that your childhood or what we went through childhood does not define you.
Wow.
Yeah? It does not define you. It is the effort that you will put in yourself that will define you.
Wow.
So because of that, they have excelled.
Yes.
They are doing very well and they don't fear life. They are very courageous people. They don't fear challenges because they know that their father passed through even greater challenges and he overcame them all.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. I like that the challenges and the childhood traumas and pains that you go through do not define you.
Yeah, they don't.
If you put effort, you will overcome everything that comes your way.
Yes.
And lastly, if you look at your camera there, this camera,
Yes.
advise a man who has been brought up by a single mother and he has teenage children, how to relate with them and how to be present in their life.
Wow. What I would tell a single man or a man who has been brought up by a single mom. Number one, there are challenges because there's that which you learned as you're growing up. You didn't have a father figure in your life. So you didn't have somebody to learn from. Like myself, I didn't have anybody to learn from. If you've been following me, I've been sharing what I've been doing by myself. I've never consulted anybody for anything. But I followed what my heart really desired. I desire to have a good family. I desire to have good children. Children that I can love, I can take care of, and they can look up to me as their father. So what I would advise a man without a father figure is that, number one, you need to understand what you need in life. It has to be very clear. Even when you get married, why are you getting married? It has to be very clear. Why do you want to get married? And the moment you understand why you are getting into marriage, it will help you to manage that marriage very well. When you are getting married to a woman, what do you want from this woman? It has to be very clear. Be honest with your wife, and your wife should also be very honest with you. Do not hide anything from each other. And when you accept one another just the way you are, unconditionally, then you'll be able to move on in life. Because my wife, what she did, she was able to tick everything that I have ever told her. She would just tick, oh, this one I was told. Oh, this one, yes, I was told. There is no single day when she confronted me and told me, you never told me this one. So what I would advise a young man who is listening to me today, there are only two ways. One is for you to understand why you are getting into marriage. What do you want in a marriage? Two, what kind of life do you envisage for your children? Where do you want them to go? Once you are able to know where you want them to go, then what do you do to make them achieve what you want them to achieve? And that one will help you to be very focused, and you'll be able to bring up a family. Do not bring a family according to somebody else's family, because you don't know their stories. The only story you know is your own story. So bring your family up in the way you would want your family to be. Have a vision, a dream of the kind of family that you would want to have. And that one will guide you as you continue in your marriage and in raising children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Molel, for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
It will really change a lot of people's hearts. There are those who are hurting, and this is an inspirational story that will help them navigate the challenges that they are facing.
Thank you.
Our viewer, you've heard from the expert himself on how his life had been. He has been a successful man, raising 3 adults. He has posed challenges to each one of us. It is up to you to determine what you want to become, because you are not defined by your history. You can always achieve everything. And remember, no further limits. If this story has resonated with you, remember to subscribe on this channel, share, and even comment so that we'll get to know what are your feelings or where to improve. Until next time, for another powerful episode. Bye for now.